Vinland Saga Season 2 Episode 3 review. For this episode, we start off with Badger, Fox, and, the young master. So these guys are going out for drinks. And I mean, this dude couldn't stop complaining. Okay, this young master dude, he's just whining. He's drowning in his sorrows. He even says to Fox and Badger that, deep down inside, they're probably laughing at him, right? Which is quite true. You could tell that Fox and Badger don't respect this guy, okay? They're obviously using his, his naivety because, they want to gain some form of favor over somebody of royalty, right? So this guy says to, Badger and Fox that, you know what? You guys probably don't earn your paychecks, okay? I want to test your skills and see that, you still got it, right? And within a split second, I mean, Badger and Fox kick the table and put him on the floor, bro. And then, I mean, this was so funny. This dude, once he got on the floor, like, I couldn't believe it. He literally cried like a little baby. He cried. He threw like an actual tantrum crying, right? And he says that, why don't they just kill him? Just think about the level of immaturity. I mean, the level of insecurity in this guy is just unparalleled, man. But on a much more serious note, right? I've actually heard that kids of people who are, great, okay? Daughters and sons of people who are great, they often have this sort of struggle where they struggle with living up to the image of their parents, right? This is why, kids of successful people tend to be so rebellious, or they like to go on the opposite direction of their parents. It's because they've got that fear of living up to their parents' expectations and, that likeness of their parents, which makes sense, If you break it down, Kettle is like, he comes across as a very accomplished man, very loved by his people. So this young guy, you can tell that, he's actually having some conflict. But it's quite strange that even under the guidance of somebody like Kettle, he would turn out this way, because I'm assuming that if he was to actually go to his father and express these kind of feelings, his father would actually be receptive to him. So, Fox is engaging with the young master while he's on the floor. He's trying to cheer him up, right? And he says that he can sort of tell, the internal struggle that people don't respect him, right? And he says to the young master that the best way in order for him to become fearless, to become a real man, is to take the life of somebody, right? Once he sees how fragile life is, he will actually, come out into a shell and become a real man. And man, I mean, this is probably one of the worst advice I've ever heard. But for the times that these guys were living in, this is actually very perfect, right? And then as soon as he said that, dude, the first people that came into my mind obviously was Thorfinn and Einar. And I was like, oh man, this guy is about to mess it up for Thorfinn and Einar. These guys are so focused on what they need to get done and accomplished. Now they have to deal with somebody trying to kill them. So the following day, Einar is up in the morning and he's making a recount of, what they need to get done in the day. There's a lot of tree roots we need to get done. Some more wheat need to be, farmed, I assume, right? And then out of nowhere, dog, he hears Thorfinn, screaming, okay? So he runs to his aid, and Thorfinn is actually like screaming out of, his dream. And when he wakes up, Thorfinn can actually recall what the dream was about. I mean, think about the level of trauma you would have to experience such a thing. You're screaming in your dreams and you don't even realize it. Does this even happen in like real life with people that like sleepwalk? Can they recall what they were dreaming about? But nonetheless, I just couldn't help to feel sad for Thorfinn, man, But it's one of the things that I actually appreciate about this season, okay? So Thorfinn is more humanized this season, We get to actually see his sunken self, as opposed to, the previous season, okay? Thorfinn was just a straight savage, but not to say he wasn't humanized. I would say that he was like anger and insanity personified, dude, because the level of things, the hurt, the trauma that he had seen at that point, you couldn't help but to just be enraged and insane, right? But then again, what level of trauma did Thorfinn suffer, man? I mean, did he get hit hard in the head or something that he forgot some memories of who he actually used to be, So yeah, I look forward to actually unpacking that as this season unfolds. And then we get a little nice scene, okay, between Aina and his young thing, okay? I hope he gets to bag this girl, okay? I can't even pronounce this girl's name. But yeah, she even gives him a little compliment to a point whereby Aina physically acts out, you know, his warm, fuzzy feelings inside. But yeah, quite a nice scene, man. These guys deserve some loving too, you know, despite the harsh times that they were actually living, you know. So this girl, she's actually the young master's assistant. I mean, worst job on the freaking farm, bro. Imagine that young master being your actual boss. That must be the worst thing ever. So we cut to this scene where now Fox and Badger go and collect Thorfinn, right? After they wash their faces, they go fetch them, okay? Now, you know, the guys are all making nice conversation on the way. So Badger and Fox are the official defense force of the farm, right? The bodyguards, okay? Badger and Fox take Thorfinn and Aina to that camp where the young master and them were drinking, right? And as soon as, you know, Aina gets there, he finds out that his sole purpose for being there is for him to die, you know, so that the young master can turn into a real man. I mean, imagine, bro, the disrespect, the nerve of this guy. Okay, Fox, dog. Fox. And in my mind, as soon as they're doing this, I'm just thinking to myself, I wish a bitch would with Thorfinn, bro. I wish they would try it. Okay? Because I'm thinking, okay, maybe Thorfinn is gonna, you know, his senses are gonna come back and he's gonna act out. But nope. Thorfinn is just a totally different person this season, bro. I don't know what the hell happened. Okay? You know, so as Fox is talking about how, you know, essentially Aina and Thorfinn are the farm's property, or their lives don't belong to them, right? I just kept thinking to myself, how arrogant is this guy, right? Kettle directly gave Thorfinn and Aina a command to say that, guys, here's land, go farm it, okay? And then once you have the means, you can buy back your own lives. For him to come in and bypass that whole process and then say that they need to be slain. I mean, he's going against the very person that actually employed him, right? But fortunately, the young master has some sense to him as he's trembling there with a sword. He's scared, you know, to say that, guys, these two people don't actually belong to me. They belong to my dad, which is quite true, dog. I mean, this dude, bruh, this dude, Fox. So while the young master is trembling there, you know what? Aina says, here's an opportunity. He goes on the attack, you know, gets the young master on the ground, you know. So they are there scuffling and wrestling. Obviously, Aina has this little dude pinned down, okay? Then, man, there comes Thorfinn. He says that he's nominating himself. I'm like, what the hell, dude? What the hell is going on here, Thorfinn? So as soon as Thorfinn says that, right? You know, the entire camp goes quiet, okay? And then Fox looks at this guy. He says, he approaches Thorfinn. He says, did you actually hear what you said? You know, I'm not going to let this slide, right? And then he says that Thorfinn, by actually not being afraid of dying, you are reducing the value of what they do as warriors, okay? Which is basically to self-fear. Yeah, the fear of death, actually. The fear of death, right? And then Fox pulls out the sword, dude, and he starts cutting Thorfinn. I mean, easy. He cuts Thorfinn in the stomach, goes for the hands, goes for some spots on the face. And I mean, Thorfinn is just there, dead serious. You know, I mean, this dude is not even moving, bro. You know, and I mean, the young master kept on saying, ouch, you know, just to feel that pain on his behalf. Even Fox makes a teaching moment to say that, you know, people fear death so much that even this dude fears death on your behalf, you know, which is quite true. And man, the most powerful, you know, scene in the entire episode. This scene made it for me, okay? So Thorfinn asks a very good question, dude. I mean, I've never even thought of this, right? But it puts so many things into context that I've heard in my life, right? Thorfinn asks, you know, everybody or Fox that, why do I have to be afraid of death, right? What's so good about living? You know, since I've lived, I've never had anything good happen to me. So why would I be afraid of death? So for me, dying is the equivalent of living, bro. Man, I'm like, dog, bars. I mean, he hit the nail on the head, you know, and it just puts so many things in context in actual real life today, right? I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast the other day, And there was this guy talking about how in the Congo, right, there's essentially illegal mining of miners happening. And in that particular location, there's mines that are, collapsing on a weekly basis, right? And in my mind, I just kept on asking myself, how is it possible that that the job that you're doing is so risky, but you are working in these kind of conditions where you could lose your life just like this, right? And then it hit me that these kids, they've got some of the most terrible lives, that making that $1 or $10 that they were getting paid, it means so much to them that it's the only opportunity they would have to actually, change their entire lives, right? So, man, it just put so many things into context for me, bro. That was so real. That was so real. So Fox gets so irritated now, right? He's about to slash off Thorfinn's head. Then fortunately there's a guy in the back, Snake. He tells Fox, stop. Okay? Then Fox immediately, from hearing the voice, you could tell that he's freaking scared. And then Fox approaches him, right? And he says that, leave this guy. This guy, he's been through it. You can tell, right? And then Snake calls Fox, bro, and he just put a nice fist in his freaking face, I wish he could have done more, honestly, dog, because at this point in time, at this point of the story, I dislike Fox, bro. That nigga has to go out, actually. I hate to say it, but yeah, so Snake says, Badger, you guys are going to tell me what the hell is going on. And then the episode just ends there, bro. But it was an excellent episode. Beautiful, quite loved it. But yeah, I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna score this one a 9 out of 10. Vinland Saga. Not a lot of action. This is a drama, dog. So this is the kind of storytelling I'm expecting from this series, But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the review, please definitely leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what was your favorite moment for this episode, okay? If it's not the Thorfinn speech, man, you're playing, okay? And then obviously consider subscribing to the channel. I'll check you guys next time.